of time, and we will start with recognition. Rachel Johnstone.
All right. So far, our team has helped 50 people get started this month. Huge congrats to Angela Waters for crushing it at Success Club 22 already for the month. And congrats to Kristen Bourgeois. And then Genevieve, Shauna, Laura, and Jackie are both one person away from locking in Success Club, and lots of us with 2 points on the board. Super excited for the customer launch of 9-week Control Freak this week. And congrats to Lori Hurst for heading into her last week of her 6 weeks of diamond qualification, and Christina Joyce for her second out of 6 weeks for diamond. And Laura Simon should be an official 4-star, her team should be an official 4-star diamond team on Thursday. Super excited for them. All right, that's it for recognition.
All right, well, let me go ahead and share my screen, and we are going to go ahead and get started with what we're going to talk about today. So if you missed our first call on setting the vision for 2021, no worries, we always record our calls. So I will post the call length recording in the event page for this one as well, in addition to the recording of part 2. But as we are ending out the year, I know that we're kind of like in Christmas holiday mode, but I hope in the back of your mind you're also thinking about, okay, a new year, a fresh start. What is it that I want to achieve? Whether you are a coach who's been with us for just started a couple weeks into the business, or you're somebody who's been here a couple years, or you're somebody who, like me, tomorrow I will be celebrating my 6-year coach anniversary, which is insane to me because I feel like in some ways it does feel like 6 years, but mostly it feels like, dang, I can't believe 6 years have just like flown by. I used to joke that my 4-year anniversary, I got my Beachbody degree. Well, now I can say I got my Beachbody master's degree. So I'm excited as we head forward, as we go into the new year. We always have the choice to evolve or repeat. And I know that 2020 has been a unique year. I use that word unique. You can kind of figure out what that means from there. And while it's been tough and it's been hard and it's been challenging, I don't want to discredit that. I know so many people have dealt with a lot of difficult things. We don't need to like harp on that, right? We could sit there and we could talk about all the things, but like that's not what this is about. So instead, I have a ritual that I want to have you talk about today, and then I want you to either take time tonight or tomorrow, and I'll tell you why it's important to do it around this time, to really close out the year and to really focus on what went well. So we truly have the power to completely change our experience in 2021. I truly believe that. We have the power to just create a new way of what we didn't want to happen this year. We have a new opportunity ahead of us to change it. This is just a simple ritual that you can do, and really anyone can do. I'm going to encourage my husband to do it with me because I'm going to have him walk me through it as well. But finding a partner, somebody who really gets you, who really sees you. It can be somebody in the business. We have all gotten connected to some really close people in the business. If you have that somebody for you that can be a mirror and reflect back to you sometimes things that we can't see, that would be great. A spouse, a best friend, I want you to say, hey, can you take 30 minutes to do this little ritual? We'll do it with each other as a way to just close out the year. And so what I want you to do is start with, I'm proud of. And I know that's sometimes hard to do. It's so easy to think about all the things that didn't go well this year. We could have done better, or I fell short here. But we're going to retrain our brains. And I want you to take the time. This is something that's so easy to do, but it's also so easy to just kind of like pass over, just kind of like briefly do it in your head, but not really do it full out. I'm asking you right here, right now, to play full out. Okay, so do I have your permission to say, yes, Raquel, I will play full out in this exercise? If that's true, type yes, I will play full out in the chat box. But I'm proud of. What are you proud of? Let me just get you some started. Did you learn to live in quarantine? Did you figure that out? You should be proud of that because that's something that nobody has ever had to do. Did you have to master virtual school, whether you were a parent, a teacher, and or both? Did you take control of your health this year? That should hopefully be all of us. During a time when things were crazy, you took control of what you could have. Be proud of that because not everyone did. Then I want you to really, so start there, right? I think we can come up, we should usually, I say people get stuck between 5 and 10 things that they're proud of, okay? Then I want you to go to business, okay? If you're brand new to the business, that's okay. Maybe you're proud of the fact that I took a leap of courage to sign up and I'm on this call. Cool. Let's own that. Let's be proud of it. Starting something new, you should absolutely be proud of that. If you've been a coach for a while, I want you to really what are you proud of? Did you show up on the days that it was hard? Did you make Success Club a non-negotiable? How many people did you help this year? What if you went in your back office and looked at your customers? Like, how many people did you tangibly help this year? What can you be proud of in your business? What are some tricky situations you dealt with in a positive way? What did that look like? Me having my kids home with me 24/7 for like 8 months straight, that was a tricky situation. And you know what? We did it. And I feel like my relationship with my kids just got stronger. My relationship with my husband, man, we really partnered together. I'm proud. I didn't crush it every day, but I'm really proud of overall how I handled it. Boundaries you enforced. What is that? What are you proud of? Any goals you hit, personal accomplishments, anything you want to acknowledge yourself for, do it. Don't be shy. This is not the time to be humble or modest. Own everything. Okay, now here's the tricky part. So we're going to go through that. I'm proud of myself for and list it all out. Then when you're like, okay, I did it. I got my list. Your partner should ask, what else? And I want you to dig deep. Keep asking, well, what else? Until you have at least 30 to 50 things. Y'all, I'm telling you, this is going to take some digging. Getting to 30 to 50 things as women, I think is hard. It's hard to really like own what we're proud of, but I want you to keep digging until you get at least a list of 30, hopefully closer to that 50. I think it is so important for this reason. Recognizing everything you've achieved in the face of adversity is so good for us. I'm not here to say that 2020 was a great year, but maybe it was for you. Maybe you crushed 2020 and it was a badass year, but you feel guilty for celebrating. I'm giving you permission right now to not feel guilty. There are things that I freaking crushed in 2020. We accomplished, checked off my vision board, and I'm going to own that and not feel bad at it because I did what I needed to do to make it happen, and I'm going to own it and feel proud of it. Okay. But maybe you've had a hard year, then you need to really look at this list and feel so freaking proud of yourself for what you've accomplished. Seeing this crazy year and what you did, own it, feel proud of it. Allow yourself to feel the feelings of like, you know what, self? I'm proud of you. That little girl that lives inside of you, give her a hug, pat her on the back and say, I'm so proud of you. This is helpful because when you can look at the year and look at all the things that got wrong, but I really believe what we focus on expands. So what I'm really trying to get you to do is focus on the good, because when you do that, it's easier to help you manifest and attract even more abundance, blessings, and luck in the new year. So this is just a beautiful ritual that I'd like to do to close out the year. Now, if you followed me for a while, you know we had this conversation in the VIP Diamonds group. Tomorrow is a very special day. It's the winter solstice, right? When we kind of go into the universe is kind of shifting, things are aligning to go into the winter months. But it's also what's called the Great Conjunction, where the stars of Saturn and Jupiter are very close together. It hasn't happened since the year 1623. It is a very energetic, magnetic day. This would be tonight or tomorrow would be a great time to do this, to feel the energy, whether you believe it in or not. The energy is there to really kind of just get really clear on what you're proud of, close out the year, and then really set those intentions for what we want to achieve in the new year. Everything's working in your favor right now, and you can acknowledge it and work with it, but it's happening, and I really, really want you to take time for that. So if everybody that put, yes, I'm willing to play all out, I'm excited. And now, once you've done that, we want to go get really clear on, all right, close out 2020 feeling good, everything we're proud of. Now what? What's next?
Okay, so we want you to be able to lead this call tonight. Our top focus is we didn't want to just be like a pump up pep rally and make you feel good right now. We want you to have something that's going to help you immediately. So when you close out the call tonight and you are in this perfect space, you're able to have something very tangible and very clear to move forward on starting right now. So we often know what we want, and we think we know what we want, and by looking at saying, okay, I want financial freedom, I want to pay off debt, you just kind of start listing things based off of what you see other people doing and what you see other people striving towards. But maybe that's not what deep down is a priority for you, and maybe you just not dug through that yet. So the best way to figure out what you want, who you want to serve, what you want your vision to look like, is to figure out what you don't want. Raquel and I were talking about this when we put the call together. For me, when I started this, I had a baby, Corey, who's now 6. She was 6 months old, or like 7 or 8 months old when I started this. And when I was in that career, even before I got pregnant with her, I loved my job so much, but I was working like a dog. I worked 50 to 60 hours a week easily. I was on call 24/7. If the light bulb went off, it was on me. If the plumbing went out in the bathroom, it was on me. If somebody didn't show up for their 5 a.m. shift, it was on me. I went to school for 6 years to literally be on call 24/7. And I loved the job. It was high pressure, high stress, sales driven, all of the things, people driven, health and fitness driven. So it checked all of my boxes. It was really exciting until I started a family. And then I was like, oh snap, this is a lot. This is not something I can keep up for 40 years. I don't want to work this much. I knew that. But I also knew I don't want to give up a career. I knew that. And I was looking at my owner at the time, who he and I are still very good friends. I love him to death. I love his family. And I was looking at his life and saying, I was like, that's what I want. He still has a career. He pops in, he works when he wants to work. He's great at his job. He's good at what he does. He makes a great income. But when he wants to travel, he travels. When he wants to take a 3-hour lunch, he takes a 3. Uh-oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? Hello?
Can you see it?
Oh, can y'all still see me?
Yep.
Oh, perfect. I'll just talk to my computer. I don't know where you guys are, but I'll keep talking. When he wants to take a 3-hour lunch, he would take a 3-hour lunch. And I realized I wanted that. When he wanted to buy a new home or do all the things, I just realized what I wanted was, I knew I didn't want to give up a career. I knew I didn't want to give up earning my own income and having financial independence. But I also knew I wasn't willing to sacrifice my family. I wasn't willing to work 50 to 60 hours a week. I wasn't willing to be on call all of the time and be at everybody else's beck and call except for my family. So when I started this, I knew what I didn't want, and that helped kind of clarify what I knew that I did want. And I also love helping other women feel confident in their life. My vision, what I want out of this, what my driving force is, I love to help other women feel confident in their life, feel better about what they're doing in their life, because that ripple effect changes the world. When a mother comes to me and tells me she has better energy, a better relationship with her spouse, she treats her kids with more kindness, and she's happier and more energetic, that feeds my soul. That will get my butt up at 5 a.m. because if a happy mom is raising happy kids, we're going to have a happier world. And that ripple effect is absolutely insane. And that gets my butt moving in the morning. So we want you to really figure out, and maybe you're jotting down as we're going through this. Raquel, can you send me a picture of the slide? Because I can't see anything. I can't see where I'm at. When you're jot down those things that fire you up, I want you to think about this time of year. We're sitting in the holidays, and I want you to think about, are there things that you wish you could be purchasing right now for people that you love, that's a stressor? And not that the holidays are all about gifts, because they're not. Like, obviously, the reason for this season is not for gift giving. But if the holidays are stressing you out because you feel strapped, you feel limited, you feel like you're constrained in your choices of how you want to serve and give, maybe it's that you want to be able to donate to homeless people, or you want to be able to give to people who are less fortunate, and you would love to just be able to flow outward with all of these gifts during this season, but you can't because you don't have the resources. Maybe that's what you want. I don't want to feel like I'm making choices based on finances. That gives you clarity on what you do want in this business. And then you have to look at, what are you willing to sacrifice to honor those? As I told you, I knew I didn't want to give up a career, but I wasn't willing to sacrifice the time away from my family, because there's a big difference. You can earn a ton of income and never see your family. There's a lot of jobs that will trade time for money, and you spend your time doing that, and you're going to sacrifice in other areas. Not that that's a good or bad choice. That was not something that I was willing to sacrifice. I was willing to sacrifice a little bit of my sleep and all of my reality TV. I got my butt up every day at 5 a.m. working a full-time job that I already told you was running me like a crazy person, but I still got up and worked this business because I was willing to sacrifice that, because this was more important. I was willing to sacrifice all of my reality TV. I broke up with the Housewives. I broke up with the Bachelorette. I broke up with all of those things because that was a sacrifice that was so much easier for me than looking down the road 5 or 10 years and realizing that I was going to be trapped in a career that wasn't going to work with my life vision. So you have to get clear on that. And then you can figure out from there, where does that fit and where does that align with Beachbody? Because for us, Beachbody is just the vehicle to get you where you want to go. It's an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible company, but we're all just using this as a vehicle to go where we want to go. We all have different visions for our life. We all have different visions for where we want to take our life, how we want to end up at the end of our life and looking back. But Beachbody is the most incredible vessel. For me, it checks all the boxes. Does it allow me the time freedom? Yes, it does. I'm able to spend all the time with my kids, and I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this job in 2020. I think about every single day. I would not have survived in my old job during 2020. Having kids and a newborn and virtual school, my old job wouldn't have been possible. I would have been forced to quit. And that would have been like an immediate income gone, quit my job. Like, I think about that every day, and I'm so darn grateful. Does it fit my financial needs? Absolutely. It's more than replaced my old income. I have a full-time income working part-time hours. Checks both of those boxes. Does it give me the help for me to help other women feel fulfilled in their life so that they can create that ripple effect with their children and generations to come? Yes, it fits all of those boxes. So for me, Beachbody is the perfect vehicle to get me where I want to go. Is it the only vehicle? No. Is it the perfect vehicle for me right now? 1,000%. So I know that was a lot and kind of coming at you, but that's what we want you to kind of think about. By the time you leave this call, we want you to have a super crystal clear vision on what do you want, because that's going to help you back it up and figure out, how am I going to serve in this way? Is what I'm doing leading me to where I want to go? And am I going somewhere where I feel passionate, or am I just picking material and recognition-based things based off of what everybody else is picking because I think that's the right direction? That's where you're going to find yourself feeling lackadaisical and frustrated and kind of beating your head against the wall. We're going to prevent all those things from happening this year. So next we're going to take this one step further.
All right. And then before I do that, I just want you to also tie in. We want you to get clear on what you don't want. And we want to have some sort of emotional attachment to it. So Jessica just talked about, she saw her boss going, living the life that he wanted, popping in when he wanted, having that financial freedom, that time freedom. And she saw that, looked at her life and said, hey, I don't have that. I want that. For me, it was a little bit different. Me dropping off my kids, it was my daughter, even before I knew Beachbody existed, I was dropping her off at daycare and I was crying on the way to work to my husband. And I remember telling him, before she gets to kindergarten, I'm going to figure out a way to be able to be that person that takes her to school and picks her up. I don't want her to have to go to extended care after school. I did that as a kid. I will not have my daughter. And she was like, maybe, I don't know, 2.5 at the time. And I remember saying, I don't know how, but I know for me, by the time she's in kindergarten, I will be that person that picks her up. And I was emotionally driven and attached to that goal. So I saw what I didn't want. I was living my life. It was a good clarity to be like, nope, this is not where my life is going. So I got clear on what it is that I did want. So I want you to, when you're thinking about this, what do I value? What's important to me? Get some emotional attachment to it. Otherwise, it's very easy to set these goals. You have this idea that diamonds on my, my vision board. And those goals are great. We'll tie that back in at the end. But you got to find something like diamond wasn't the goal for me. It was a stepping stone on my way to have more financial freedom so that I could be able to have that flexibility to pick up my kids from school. So think about that emotional attachment. All right, getting a little bit deeper, and then we'll open up to questions at the end. So once you know what you really want, you have to figure it out. What do I want? Get very clear. Write it out. Know it in your heart. If I were to call you up and say, why are you building this business? You would be, Raquel, I'm building this business because of this. Okay. You have to be very clear on that. Otherwise, we're just like shooting darts in the dark. We don't know where it's going. And I guess we're getting to where we want to be, but life gets hard. It's really easy to like back up and pause on your vision. Let's start asking yourselves, once you know what you want, what do I need to start doing? What is it that I need to start doing? For me, when I just told you, I didn't want to have to drop my daughter off at daycare. I didn't want to have to go to extended care. I had to realize, okay, I have to figure out a way to bring in some more income. And that moment, I started looking around at different opportunities to bring in income, because I said, okay, where I am now isn't going to get me where I need to be. If I stay on this path, I'm not going to get what I want. So what do I need to start doing? So look at yourself. We just talked about Beachbody being the vessel. What do you need to start doing in this business to get what you want? Is it committing to a power hour 5 times a week? Is it showing up even when you don't want to show up? Is it going all in on your health and fitness and really being a proof that these products really do work? What is it that you need to start doing and going all in and committing 100%? We all have those things. 6 years in, I still have those things. It was like, okay, I really need to start doing this. And then on the same token, what do I need to stop doing? Because we all have those things too, where it's like, okay, well, what do I need to stop doing? I just told you using that example with my daughter. What do I need to stop doing? I needed to stop playing victim. And I needed to take some ownership, because I played victim for a long time of like, it's not fair. I went to school, I got my master's degree, I got a safe job. I didn't expect to have twins. Why did God give me twins and 3 kids in daycare where money is tight? Like, that's not fair. That's not my fault. I had to stop fighting for my limitations, because yes, it was hard, and yes, it was a financial strain, and yes, I had to work to provide for my family instead of being there for my kids. But I had to stop being a victim and saying, okay, yes, this is the cards you've been dealt. And will you have to work a little harder to make it figure out and get to the goals you want? Absolutely. But you got to stop playing victim. Maybe for you, it's, I know that I've been sleeping in the morning and I could stand to wake up 30 minutes to get in a power hour, get in my workout. Or maybe I need to stop procrastinating or wasting time, or whatever the case may be, or listening to those doubts in my head that aren't true, right? So really get clear. Once we know what we want, what do I need to start doing? Make that list. And what do I need to stop doing? And that's kind of like your checklist of like, okay, where am I? And we all have those things. Let's be honest. I still have those things I need to start and those things I need to stop, but get very clear with it. Post it somewhere that you can see and remind yourself, I told myself, here's my big vision. Here's my big goal. I'm emotionally attached to it. Here's what I need to start. Here's what I need to stop. And then who's going to hold you accountable? Because just like in our health and fitness journey, so many people know what to do, right? I love when people are like, I know what to do. I know how to eat. I know what I need to exercise. I just lack that like consistency. Yes, we all do. I do believe that's human nature. So that's why accountability is a secret sauce in health and fitness. And it's a secret sauce for us as coaches too. So who's going to hold you accountable? Create a vision board for yourself. I have one back here. Obviously, it's changed a lot with this year and the things that I thought I was going to accomplish, but hey, it's still up there. And I look at it every day. I work out up here and I see it every day. And that is a gut check for me every day to say, am I taking actions in order to make those things on my vision board come true? Yes or no? No judgment, but it's always there to remind me, what am I working towards? Okay. And then find a partner who won't let you quit on yourself or your dreams. We were just talking, Jessica and I were talking about like, if she went MIA or was slacking, and not that we don't slack, because we definitely do, but if she went MIA and like, I don't know, didn't see her for a week, I would call her out and be like, where are you? You say you want all these things, like I'm not seeing it. I would do that. The no BS person who's going to call you out. We said if it were our husbands, they would probably be like, you know what? You are tired. You deserve a break. Why don't you just take the rest of the year off? Hit it hard in January. Like, that's not my person that's going to push me. I love him to pieces. I love that he's so supportive and he wants to make my life easier, but that's not going to be my no BS partner that's going to hold me accountable to myself and my dreams. So find somebody for you, whether it's somebody on the team, whether it's a sister, a best friend, I don't know, but find somebody that you can say, hey, here's what I'm working for. Do not, under any circumstances, when I want to quit, allow me to. Jessica was that person for me because I am a serial quitter. Well, we both are. But we finally told ourselves when we did Beachbody, we will not let each other quit. This is the first time we won't. When it gets hard, we're not going to retreat. We're not going to do a fade out. We will not quit. Find somebody for you to do that. Jess, can you see?
Oh, the fade out. Okay. Yes, I can see now. I don't know what happened, but like, I'm just not going to touch anything. Lastly, you got to cultivate confidence. This is the key ingredient in this business, because you are not going to be able to push past these big goals, and you're not going to be able to get past these big visions. Like for me, I will earn $1 million as a Beachbody coach. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Who knows when it's going to happen, but you bet your bottom, my first $1 million, did you hear that? My first $1 million will be as a Beachbody coach. And I'm so confident in that, but you have to have that level of confidence, because those kind of dreams are ones that people will easily knock down. People are going to come and they're going to tell you that your ideas are silly. Or maybe you just started coaching and people are like, what are you doing? Like, I will tell you, when I first started coaching, the people that were closest to me thought I was DUMB. They were like, you went to school to get a master's degree. What is network marketing? Is this a scam? I don't think this is a good idea. What are you doing? Like, my people were freaking out. And I was like, it's fine. I've got this. Don't worry about it. 5 years later, they're all in. This is the greatest thing you've ever done. You're so successful. That's awesome. I love that you do this job. I'm like, that's funny. That is so funny, because that is not what you said way back then. And if I would have listened to you and quit because I was worried about what you thought of me, where would my butt be now? You have to be confident above anybody else's opinion. And that's going to be the biggest thing you face in this business, not only because it's something that's a little unconventional, not so much anymore, but it used to be more unconventional, but also because it's something on social media. You're gonna come up against that in social media every day. Somebody's going to comment something, or somebody's gonna message you or not message you. Your head is always gonna be playing these games with yourself. And if you're not constantly working on building up that confidence and really getting those cojones that are gonna push you through this business, you're gonna fail at every obstacle. Every person that tells you what you're doing is silly, every person that tells you no, every person that says, ew, beach body, I hate beach body. Every time that happens, you're going to quit if you don't have this confidence to back you up. There's 2 ways to build that confidence. Personal development, which I've told y'all 1,000 times, I never did before coaching. And I thought it was the dumbest thing ever whenever I started coaching. I was like, no, I'm good. I got confidence. I don't need personal development. Had never read a book from start to finish in my life. I survived high school and college on Cliff Notes, and I never read a book until coaching. Personal development changed the game for me, for sure. I was confident in what I was doing before I started coaching. This took it to the next level and made me realize how short-sighted I was in so many areas of my life. Personal development changed the game for me, because you are fed what you surround yourself with, and your mind can only grow as big as what you surround yourself with. And sometimes those circles are small. Not that that's bad, but you've got to get out of your comfort zone in order to stretch and grow in the ways that you are meant to. We have so many capabilities and possibilities and tools and skills that we replace with from the big man upstairs, but we cannot fulfill those things if we stay in our tiny little bubble. And then number 2, do what you say you're going to do. This will make your business more successful than anything else you could possibly do. If you said you were going to get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and work out, get up at 5 a.m. in the morning and work out. If that's not realistic for you, change it. Don't set yourself up to fail, but also don't give yourself slack. Maybe you start during this winter break and you just say, you know what, for 3 days a week, I'm going to change my morning routine because it helps set my day up. And this can be anything. Maybe you're a night owl. For me, I really thrive in a morning structure, so I'm going to use that as an example. Maybe you're trying to get back into that. For me, it was totally thrown off in 2020 because I had a newborn. I had to claw my way back to a morning routine because a non-sleeping newborn will shake you up like nothing, and you feel like you're just a walking zombie, and it's just like, it's a mess. And then I had to re-practice and relearn how to get up in the morning, because I am not naturally a morning person. Like, no, your girl loves to sleep. But you know what I love more? Success and feeling good in the morning and having my head on my shoulders before kids come and wake me up. So I had to sacrifice wanting to sleep in. If you say you're going to do it, do it. Every time you do that, boom, a dopamine hit goes off in your brain, and it's like, oh, you are worth something. Oh, you can do what you say you're going to do. Oh, you can be successful. If you say you're going to hit Success Club, no matter what, in December, do it. And then when you do that, your body is going to tell your brain, she listens. She's good for her word. She's going to show up just like she said she would. And every time you do that, your confidence meter grows. And that is the most powerful tool you can possibly give yourself. If you said you're going to do your tracker and the day got away from you and life got busy and, oh, I need to wrap presents and, oh, it's holiday crazy and, oh, I need to go shopping, do it. Do not hit the pillow. Do not let your eyes close before you do it. Those little actions will add up in such a phenomenally huge way. You will blow yourself away with what you're able to accomplish. And then number 3, community. Plug into your team. We talked about this last week. Plug into your coach pods. Plug into the team page, get on these calls, live if possible. Sunday nights are a sacrifice. That was a sacrifice I was willing to make in order to see my vision come through. Is that something that's important to you? Make it important to you if it's not already. Being live with this community helps so much for the brain, for the heart, for all of the things. If you dive into this community, you're not going to fade out. If you find yourself that partner who's not going to let you fade out, you won't. If you try to do this business alone, it's so easy to fade out, because it does. It gets challenging at times. Or nobody's going to knock on your door and be like, hey, you haven't posted on social media. Hey, you haven't done your tracker. Hey, you haven't done these things, because they're all trying to keep their own life afloat. So find that person who will call you out, but also plug in. Because nobody knows you need help if you're out there on an island. You've got to show up and say, hey, these are my goals. I need you to hold me to them. Let's freaking do this together. And then you will find yourself successful. With that, as we close out this call, we'll open it up. If you have questions, you can pop them in the chat. We'll also mute. If you did not watch our part 1 call, where we listed out the Beachbody milestones, rank advancements, opportunities for pushing your business forward in 2021, go back and watch that call, because this call allows you to get clear on what you want as a human being. What do you want to do? How do you want to show up? How do you want to live, serve, give, all the things? Using Beachbody as this vessel, what rank or achievement aligns with that vision and goal? Is it going to serve my goal to have that financial stability, that successful career, that freedom of time? Emerald would never have aligned with that goal. Diamond would have never aligned with that goal. Becoming a legacy $1 million earner aligns with that goal. Becoming a 5-star elite team by the end of my 2nd year became part of that goal, that aligned with my goal. And there is no wrong or right answer, but just make sure that what you're saying you want aligns with the vision you're setting for your business and yourself, because next week we're going to talk about how to really break down your time management, your priorities, and how are you going to pull it together so that you're actually achieving what you're saying you want to achieve. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. All right, any questions that we have? Was this helpful? Okay, good. I'm seeing happy faces. That's good. We're just trying really we love a good preach session, and we love a good amp up. You know that about us. We get real excited, but we also want to make sure that you're taking something tangible. So if you have your vision, what you've set down for yourself. So for example, for me, I want to create generational wealth, and I want to help women feel fulfilled and happy in their life. That is how I'm creating that generational wealth. What is your vision? If you have it, put it in the chat right before we jump off. We're almost done. I know we're 3 minutes over.
All right, just a few reminders that tomorrow is the customer launch for 9-Week Control Freak, which is exciting. So if you had anybody that's like, hey, yeah, I don't want to sign up as a coach yet, tomorrow it goes on sale for customers. So that's exciting. Has anybody started it? Anyone started 9-Week Control Freak? Yes, I saw Rachel. I know Genevieve started. Multiple Jens did. Okay, cool. Awesome. Love it. I still need to set up my control track. Actually, I wanted my husband to do it. That was like a honey-do list. He hasn't quite done it yet. But promise me, I know it's late for you East Coasters, but you're going to take some time tomorrow, tonight, whenever, to really go through that I'm proud of myself for this list. I know it seems silly, but I'm telling you, you're going to feel so good, and it will feel so good to read and allow yourself to feel proud. Because I don't know about you, but as an adult woman, there are very few instances in life where I can feel proud. And when I do feel proud, it's fleeting, because it's oh, but, and then I think of all the things that I could have done better. So take some time, get at least 30 things down, and you have to keep asking yourself, well, what else? What else? What else? What else? Until you're there is no other what else. And do that. Feel the proud, and then feel the energy tomorrow, because it's a great big energetic day. So promise me you'll do that. Yes? Yes. Okay. Any other questions before we head out?
I have a question. Do we have a call next week, and is it at 8 or 8:30?
Yes, we do, and it is at 8.
Is 8 the new time forever?
I think we're going to go with it. That work? We got a lot of East Coasters, and I want to make sure that we're able to hit everybody. And I think 8 p.m. Central Standard Time works. Yes? Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, y'all have a very good night. and we'll see you on social media. Bye, guys.